This room is meant for educational purposes. I highly recommend you demo trade this approach for a period of time until you have a really good solid understanding. Let's dive right into the basics of the high velocity wave trader and what we'll be looking for here in just a few minutes. Vertical line is going to plot right at 9:30. We're going to look for what we call our 3 trader intent confirm bar sequence after the start. And that is simply this. It is our trader intent indicator has to match the bar color. So you need color match of that. You need 3 of those. The third in that sequence is your setup to get into a trade, in this case, short. It doesn't have to be in a row for that 3 trader intent sequence to give you a setup. Once you have the setup, we trade a 2-position approach. Our fixed position goes for a fixed target. That's represented by the blue dot here in this example. The yellow dot on the chart is your money management. 80% is typically what we use. So once we get to 80%, we're going to take some action on the trade to reduce risk. And the full risk on the trade is up here, represented by the square. That's the fixed position. Our big wave position kicks in once the full system target is hit. And the second position, the big wave position, is designed to capture as much of a move as possible. You want to put yourself in that position to capture a move. So let's go over to the Russell 2000 Index Futures. A reminder again, we are on the March contract. This is the HWT bar size. It is the primary chart that we teach and train on here in the room. And here's the trade profile. You can review that. We're going to be looking for that vertical blue line. And then our 3 trader intent sequence. We'll take up to 2 of these trades setups in the 5-minute window we call our active mode. After that, we'll transition over to trend mode and or trend rider. 20 seconds to go. And we are open for business. 1 count to the downside. 2 and 3 is going to be your go for a short. You should be in the short. Got some opportunity here. It is rejecting off that pivot area. That's the tough part. And we could get a potential long here on any kind of a pop to the upside. So be ready for that. We don't have a count to the upside. Trail dots will be used for confirmation on this long reversal if we get that. So again, here was the short setup. Now punching down through money management, and system target is just in sight here, a few ticks off of that. Fixed position is going to come to -4 off the setup. And again, it was trying to punch down through that pivot, and now punch down through. And a little bit extra there. You should be out of your fixed position on this short. Trailing the big wave position, currently 2379.8. NQ is off to a sell-off also. So market selling off here a little bit, and a pop back to the upside here out of our trailing position on the Russell, and a slight loss on the big wave today for our first trade. Second active setup would be this one, and you would be using the trail dots for the reversal because that's where we would be getting out of the initial first trade. POQ1 was achieved in this first trade. I get it. It wasn't a home run. It's a winner nonetheless. And our second active trade setup here now hitting the fixed target, the adjusted fixed target, and we're off to the races here on the upside. 2 good trades this morning on the Russell. And 931 traders, this would be your trade, by the way. This second active setup here, the long, would be your setup to go long. So for 931, if you do the 1-minute delay, this is your trade setup. I would still do the same thing for a little bit of confirmation. You've got the trail dots and you got this pivot right here potentially to work around. Either one of those decisions are going to be pretty much the same. You're going to get your fixed target. The only impact there would be the big wave position, and that's currently trailing up here. Trailing up at 2380.8, and we're off the session high there quite a bit, so we've got good ways to go. Let's see what resistance we might have on the way up to that session high. At Trade Assist, as you can see there, just took a couple trades for me. And I'll pop over really quick so you can see that right here. So this one right here is the trade that I'm currently in. Trade Assist qualified, move to the downside, and I'm out. You can see I'm out that pretty quick. I would expect that. It popped out of that session low pretty quick, but hey, that's a winner and I will take it. I let the Trade Assist do its thing. Let me make sure I'm flat across the board on the trades I just took. And I am. All right, cool. Anyways, good one there. Let's go back to the Russell. Russell, what's the Russell doing here? Russell still hanging in there on the long, so the NQ selling off, Russell going up. The markets have been diverging somewhat. I don't know if you've noticed, but the Dow is actually down quite a bit lately when the NQ has just been plowing to record highs. And so we've got a little bit of that today where the Russell's moving up and NQ is selling off. And there we go. That trade is complete, this trade here. So let's just mark it up here. So this is the system entry from the trail dots to the big wave exit, 28 ticks. Plus your 24 tick target on trade number 2 from the 9:30 start. Again, let's get over to Trend Rider here really quick, see if anything's going on. Not really. This is again the trade that I took. This is the only trade I've taken so far in my PAs this morning, was this qualified move. We're getting a little bit sideways here. what I would say is we're in a little bit of a chop zone, which I would expect off of the session low here. And we're just plowing along sideways here off the session low. This was a winner for me, but the big wave didn't get anything. In other words, it didn't punch into that session low and take off, right? All right. So that's that. 9:45 trade coming up, and the good prerequisite price action for the 9:45 is inactivity first 15 minutes. So let's get over to the 9:45 for those that might need this trade. Again, this is an optional active start time using the high velocity wave trader. And just like we did at the open, we will look for a fresh 3 trader intent sequence from the 9:45 start, either direction, up to 2 of these trades in this 5-minute window. That is another active window. All right, 9:45, let's get over to that really quickly. We are looking for that 3 trader intent sequence, and we've got it there. That's a little bit of a pop and pivot on the 9:45. If you're not in this trade, then put your sell stop 4 ticks below this hesitation. That's the great example of what I talked about this morning in the review that we do each and every session. So put your sell stop just below that. Would be at 76.7 on the entry for the short, and a possible 3 trader intent sequence coming to the upside. On the upside entry, you would use the trail dots for confirmation to get into this trade. We're going to move that entry down 2 more ticks to 76.5 on the short. Possible long coming. I'm going to go ahead and select a new ATM. The long would come at the trail dots or above. Let's see here. Yeah, it's going to set up at just below the trail dots. So we're just waiting here to see what the outcome is. Either direction. We're not in the short trade yet, and we're not in the long trade yet. So that still holds good. Again, the idea here is we want to see it break this pivot that was set in real time right in front of us. First pivot was here, a little bit of a pop and pivot, so we were able to get off of that. And then it came down a couple ticks away from our entry, and then we're able to get off of that. And on this one, looks like we'll have some room between our entry and the session low, which is good news. And we're in the trade. Again, that blue line represents the prior pivot that was set fresh in the session here. Let's see what price does around that. And we are also 10 seconds away from canceling any kind of a long here, so it'll be the short only. And we have almost reached money management. 2375.3. Again, it's processing through this prior pivot right now. It's rejecting. And our window has come to a close, so we will remove our buy stop order. Not that one, but this one. And again, we just got within a couple ticks of our money management. So full risk is on this trade. Let's see if it has any more oomph to the downside here. Gonna make another pass here. And there you go. There's money management. It was processing through that prior pivot, and we are now just off of the system target, but we get to move our risk on the fixed position to -4. Big wave risk remains on in full. Price bouncing back up here towards our money management stop on the fixed position. And like I said, we barely missed the system target. We're back down there now. See if we can punch through. Tap that monitor. There you go. There's system target. So now we get to reduce risk on the big wave position to the trail stop, which is currently 2378.8. And on the fixed position, I would start to ratchet this down a little bit and give this a chance to get through to the adjusted target there, which it just did. And now we get to trail this trade on the big wave position, currently 2378.0. So good 9:45 trade. So again, from the system setup, we've gone 36 ticks. We always like to track from the system setup to know how when we hit that 40 tick mark. I know we adjusted around these pivots. We'll see if we got any more punch here into that session low on this Russell 9:45 trade. And the trail stops come down to 2377.7 here on this trade. Russell price action has slowed down quite a bit here. And we do have the 10 o'clock trade coming up here in about 5 minutes. All right, Russell price action not doing a whole lot here, but still under our trail. And our trail position now hit here. Again, in baseball terms, that's a single. All right, with that, everybody, have a good rest of the day. Will's up tomorrow, and we'll see you then.
Everything discussed here is our opinion, and it is not to be taken as investment advice because we are not your financial advisor, nor have we considered your personal situation as your fiduciary. This presentation is for your education and entertainment only. Please review NetPicks' full risk disclaimer and privacy policy.